So this is my portable rig. I don't use it that much really. Most of my work is shop work, so very rarely do I need this machine. I use this more as a generator than anything. It's my sort of my backup power for my farm here. It is a Lincoln Weldanpower AC/DC. It has constant amperage and constant volts, and so therefore you can run a spool gun directly off it, which I've never geared it up to try that, but someday I'm gonna. That would be awfully handy in the field sometimes. So that's sort of a rare feature. You don't get that on every kind of power source nowadays. That's sort of an extra feature on a lot of machines to get the CCCV feature. It's driven by a rock solid motor there. That's the old 16 horse IC Briggs and Stratton, totally iron board, iron head kind of thing. It was fairly well maintained. It was at a tidal bore rafting place for most of its lifespan, and it was maintained there, and they used it quite often. And anyway, we'll fire it up today. It's really cold. It hasn't been started in probably a month and a half, not since some fairly warm weather. And I can't guarantee it'll start, but I'm betting it would start. So you can't stop that Briggs as long as the battery's good. It seems this battery sort of trickles down a little bit after a couple months, so it may not have enough battery power into it. So we'll see what happens here. We got our choke is not hooked up to the cable anymore. It broke off last year, and I ain't got around to fixing it. I got to buy a new cable because it's all seized inside. And up front, you got two little toggle switches. One's a high idle switch there, high idle, low idle. And here's your starter switch. So here we go. Idles down. Whoop. A little cold. There you go. Motor's kicking in now. Up front it says it's got a 100% duty cycle for the welder. I guess that's for everything, but it's a 225 amp, even though it only goes to 200 according to this. But it says 225 amp AC or 210 DC at 25 volts. Okay, that's for the 200 amps DC for constant voltage. So for amps it'll do, for stick welding she'll do 225 on AC. So it's got the old time 220 plugs, or you can still get them, but it's kind of a pain. The low amperage, like 15 amp 220 plugs. I'll have to change that someday to like a twist lock, so I can run 50 amp stuff. Other than that, she's a beauty. Very tough machine. I got it real cheap, just like everything. I'm pretty good with the deals, my friend. So if you're ever looking for a deal on something, you want me to do a little shopping for you, I'll find you a deal. So there you go. the Lincoln electric arc welder. Weldanpower. She's bulletproof, buddy.